I'm sure you would have understood the core features of Java language in the previous chapter. In this chapter, we will write a simple Java program from scratch. Okay, so now we are ready to write our first Java program. So let us look at writing a very simple Hello World Java program. So the intent of this program is to help you understand how the Java works and then what are the elements of a Java program. So that's the basic thing. We are not developing any application or any complex thing here. It's a very simple mechanism. So let's explore this. So here we basically see a Java program which looks something like this, where you have a package statement. So all these things which are ending with semicolon are nothing but statements in Java. So these are analogous to a C or C++ programming environment, where we have the concept of a statement, which is nothing but an instruction. And then we do have import statement, where you can import the libraries that are referenced by this particular program. And then you have a Hello World app, which is nothing but the name of the class, and then it has a static method. So this is what a Hello World program looks like. So now let us explore these components in detail. So if you look at the package and import, so the package is nothing but a technique for grouping the classes. So you can create different packages depending on your requirement. And on a physical file system, a package represents a particular folder. So you can have multiple subfolders, and those subfolders represent multiple sub packages. For example, I have a package com olc jfsd. So here there will be a folder called com, under that there will be another folder called olc, under that there will be jfsd, under that you can have a class or a file, a Java file, for example. So that's the basic concept of a package, where you can organize and put them into different modules. Then we do have the import statement, where you basically have an option to refer to various other libraries which are referenced by your program that you are developing. This is where the IO come into picture. So IO is another library which you can basically use, for example. Then we do have the main function, which is nothing but the entry point for your Java program. Just like in a procedural program like C, we have main function. Here we have main method. We use the concept of a method very much in an object-oriented program, and that is what we call it as a main method. And here it's a definition that we have defined as part of the class. So the class is Hello World app, as we have seen here. So the name of the class is Hello World app. It can be any name. It's a public class, which means anybody outside this program can directly invoke this particular main method. So it should be a public class, and it should be a public method also. This is very much important. In the coming chapters, I will talk about access modifiers, where you'll get an understanding about these elements in detail. And main method is also a static element. We have to make it static because we are not getting any instance. So it should be a static method, so that it can become a main entry point, and it will accept certain arguments or parameters as string array. So you can provide multiple arguments, and it is accepted as a string array. And it's a void. Void means it does not return anything. So it is mandatory in Java to use the keyword void, representing that this function or method does not return anything back to the calling program. So that's the basic signature of the main method in Java. So once this function is there, so you have another function or the method, which is system.out.println hello world. So system represents system class. It is again a class, and out represents an output stream, where you're writing some output to console or the display monitor or the screen in general, what we generally refer to as console. And then we do have println, which is nothing but a method which prints a line of text onto the console, just like printing something onto the console. So this is the basic concept. And then we do have in a Java code certain comments. So there are three types of comments in Java. One is a single line comment, which begins with 2 forward slashes. And the second type is a multi-line comment. So if single line is not sufficient, if you have multiple lines of comments you want, yes, you can basically have slash star and star slash. So you can comment multiple lines of code also using this multi-line comment, where the portion of this particular code, whether it is single line, multi-line or document, it will not be considered for compiling. So that's a basic concept. So it's a demarcation for the compiler not to consider the code within this particular comment. And then we do have documentation comment. So Java is a very well defined as well as documented coding language. So if you want to represent some documentation about the method, what it does, what is the functionality, etc., yes, you can put that information into a document comment. So document comment starts with slash star star as compared to slash star in a multi-line comment. That's it, nothing else. So slash star star is, or asterisk is basically a way in which you can represent as a document comment, and then every subsequent new line has the star and begins with star and then ends with star slash. So this is the style of a documentation comment. And there is a tool called JavaDoc in JDK, which can also be used for creating API documentation. You can also see Java API documentation online, and I will also share the link in the resources, which you can basically use it just to understand what are the API options that are there, API Java classes are there, etc. So link I will share in the description section below, so which you can basically use it as a reference as well. And then once this code is written, I should basically compile. Remember, I was talking about Java C utility. So Java C is basically a tool for compiling a Java code. So assuming that you are in some specific folder, say a root of the particular folder, you basically create multiple folders representing your package. So in our case, COM, OLC, JFSD is a package. So where I have created these folders, under that JFSD folder, we have hello world app.java, which is the source code. And we can compile by pointing to that particular file using the Java C command. And once everything is fine, it gets compiled into a hello world app.class. .class is basically a class which represents the bytecode, and in order to run this application, we have the command java space the complete name of the class, which includes the package prefix com.olc.jfsd.helloworldapp. So this command basically executes the Java program. So Java is basically the tool which represents the JVM process, and it loads this particular class and executes the Java program. So that's how the Java program runs. And obviously you expect an output which is hello world, as we saw in this statement, system.out.println hello world. So this is the mechanism of how a Java program gets executed and what are the different components and elements that we have in a Java program. So these are some of the basic essential components of any typical Java program. In the next chapter, we will have a hands-on demonstration, so where I will help you to create a simple file, the same file, so same example we'll take, and we'll create a file, we'll create packages, and then the file, of course, which means like I will create a folder structure. So we'll just learn this from scratch, what it takes to write a Java code, a Java program, and then how you can compile and how you can run this. So in this particular section, we will do this, and in the later chapters, we will get introduced to an IDE, an integrated development environment, where it would be basically helpful. I think this would be done in the next course. All right, in the next course we will see, and in this course we'll just focus on learning the Java programming environment with a very basic set of tools, where you get an idea about the basic functionality of Java and what it takes to write a Java program, compile. So if you know the basics, then if you have an IDE which does all this job for you. You'll know at least what's happening under the hood, and if there is any problem, you'll be able to debug or troubleshoot it. So that is the intent, where in the initial set of chapters, we will basically focus only on developing something from scratch without using any IDE or a tool. Okay, so see you in the next chapter.